If you want to support the work I'm doing, there's a link in the description to my Subscribe Star. Appreciate that. Okay, continuing on with the form 3, we're going to do the minor chords now. So we're going to move from this line down to here. We're going to start with the minor triad. 1, we're going to flat to 3. So we have 1 flat 3 5, and then a higher 1. So let's get rid of everything that's not a 1 3 or 5 first, and then we'll deal with the 3. Okay, we want this to be our lowest note. So let's get rid of anything that's not a 1 3 5. We're going to get rid of that high 1. We're just not using that. I mean, we'll get into this later. One, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Okay. Now, these are minor chords, so the 3 has to go down a half step. So we're going to get rid of this 3 and put it here. So now we have a flat 3. And we're going to move this 3 down a half step. And so now we have 2 flat 3s. So we have 1 flat 3, 5, 1 flat 3. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to take 5 fingers to do this. So this is how we're going to play. We're going to ditch this highest 3, and we're going to play it like this. So we're going to starting with the 1, going backwards 1, and here's the 5. So we're going to bar that 1, 5, and then here's the 3. We're going to flat that 3 and 1. Okay, down here on this on the neck here. That was in the first form, second form. Okay, and third form. Okay, we're still on these lower 4 strings. It's a little chunky sounding, kind of thick. It's not the most pretty, but I would probably use that for some situations. Now, if you were going to use the flat, if you wanted to use this other flat 3, we'll just add that back in. And then you could play flat 3, 5, 1, flat 3, which looks like this. So here's the flat 3, okay, 5, 1, flat 3. Now that ends up being an E flat 6th, but it's the same as a C minor. That's a slash chord. We're not going to get into that right now, so let's just move on. Now we're going to do a C minor major 7. So we want 1 flat 3 5, and we're going to get rid of this 1 and use major the 7th tone. So 1 3 5 7. So we'll deal with the 3, the last thing. Let's get rid of everything that's not a 1 3 5 or 7, and then we'll flat the 3rd. Okay, so let's just get rid of everything that we don't need. Okay, so we've got 1 3 5 here. We'll leave the 7. Get rid of that. Now, these 2 3s, again, we need to flatten these down a half a step. And move that down there. So again, let's just get rid of this so we don't muddy the waters. So we have 1 flat 3 5 7. So again, going back to telling somebody what the voicing of a chord is, you would say 1 flat 3 5 7. And that looks like this. 1 flat 3 5 7. So what I would do is play those, and then you're gonna have to get your pinky finger over here. Okay, that's a tough chord to play. I might use that from time to time. You know, I'd probably have to practice and, you know, get my fingers on it, you know. So I don't play that chord all the time. But these upper 3, this is an augmented chord. Just a side note. Again, I don't want to get into the slash chords, but it's just, you're gonna start seeing relationships with these chords. Okay, now we're going to do C minor 7th. Okay, so we're going to do 1 flat 3 5 and now a flat 7. Let's get rid of everything that's not a 1 3 5 or flat 7. Okay, everything we don't need. So let's flat the third. So we got 1, flat 3, 5. Okay, now if we move this 7 down here, that's a really big stretch. I'm just going to show you what it looks like if we do that. If we try to play that, this is what it's going to look like. 1, flat 3, 5. Okay, so we have, there's a 7. Now here's the flat 7. And that's a big stretch. I'm probably never going to use that chord, but you understand where it is, right? So let's just get rid of it here. What if we were to put it, the flat set? Okay, here's the 7, but let's get rid of that, flat it. So now let's get rid of this one here. And see, now we have a little more, okay, we got the flat 7 and the 5 are on the same string. So we got to have this flat 7, so we're going to ditch this 5. Now we're starting to get into that 3 we can't use because it really needs to be there. So that looks like a tangled web that we don't want to even try. So let's just, we're still in the lower 4 strings. This position, this particular form is a little, you're going to probably be playing more slash chords in this form. But let's, so we have 1, flat 3, flat 7, 1. Let's do it backwards. 1, here's the flat 7, and here's the flat 3, and 1. Let's reposition a little bit here. I probably won't ever use that chord either. Of course I might, you never know. Just so you understand. All right, let's move on to C minor 6th. So we want 1, flat 3, 5, 6. Let's get rid of everything we don't need. Now we keep getting rid of the 6 here because remember, this is the lowest C. This is the bass note, so we want that to be the lowest note. There's a 6. We're going to keep that 6 because we want a 1, flat 3, 5, 6. But the 6 and the 5 are on the same string. Let's keep this. We're going to get rid of the 5. 1, 3, 6, 1. We'll keep that 1. We'll get rid of the 7. Okay, that's going to be hard to do here. Let's see what we come up with here. Okay, we want to flat this 3rd because we're in the minor chords here. All right. So 1, flat 3, 6, 1. If we try to bar this, we're going to end up playing a natural 3rd here. So let's get rid of this. Again, we're still on the low strings. And you're going to have to experiment with these chords. I have to keep reiterating that because this is really for you to understand how to do this. So here's the 6th, flat 3, 1, and here's another 1. I might use that chord. Okay, moving on, C minor, major 7. So C minor, that'd be 1, flat 3, 5, and we want a major 7. So 1, flat 3, 5, 7, 9. Well, let's just see what we end up with here. Okay, let me change all of these extensions up here, like the 2 here. We'll change those so that they're 9s. Okay, so now we've got 1, 3. Okay, it's a 1, 3, 5 major 7. 1, 3, 5 major 7, 9. So 1, 3, 5 major 7 and 9. They're on the same. Let's flat that 3rd. Put a different label on there. It's calling it a sharp 2. Or, well, yeah, actually. Oh, that's right. It's sharp 9. So that's because of the way I have it set up. So we'll forget about that flat 3 there. So these are our options. This is a 3rd, so we need to flat that because we want 1, 3, 1 flat 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so do we have... This is going to be hard to pull off like this. 1 flat 3, 5, 9, 1 flat 3, 5, 7. In order to get... boy, we could try 1 flat 3, 9, and 7. How's that going to work out? Okay, so what we can do, I'm just trying to play these myself. I don't really, these chords I'm probably never going to use. Let's get rid of this here. Instead of having the 7 here, let's move it over here. And then let's see what we come up with. We still need this flat third, but that's going to be hard to play. Well, let's try this. Okay, now we have 1 flat 3, 7. Here, let me get some bigger bigger font here so we can see these. Okay, 1 flat 3, 7, 9. There again, let's get rid of these. Okay, so 1 flat 3. Okay, that's a legitimate chord that I would probably play that at sometime. That's the 9. Here's the 7. Here's the flat 3, and here's the 1. Okay, again, we're experimenting. We're trying to figure out, what chords that we can, play with the fingers we have and the way the guitar is set up. Especially in this part of the neck, it's a little more complicated. So hopefully you're getting the idea. Thanks for watching this, and we will see you in the next video. And by the way, if you want to support the work I'm doing, there is a link in the description to my Subscribe Star. I appreciate that, and we'll see you in the next video.